Hi everyone, Catherine here from Ink Finger Cat. I thought I would do my Festive Friday as a video. I think this is the first Festive Friday since Christmas in July where I haven't just used up the bits and pieces left over from Christmas in July projects. So this was like a completely fresh project, if you know what I mean. And yeah, I just decided to play with the pieces of paper that I had got in the pouch. I am about to have some new Christmas papers in the house. So I'm now going to be on a little bit of a mission to try and use up these little bits and pieces. And so I just grabbed ones that were all of a similar sort of colourway. There are different papers in there. They're from different suppliers. Some are Stampin' Up, some are ones that I've been gifted. So yeah, they all had kind of like a brown craft kind of look with those little pops of red on the top. And I just laid them up and made a square card panel. And then you can see here I have taken those gorgeous little Avery Elle reindeer stamps. I have stamped it 3 times. I will colour it 3 times, but I'm only using one for this particular card. And then I'm going to put the other 2 back in the pouch for the Christmas stuff, and they'll get used at some other point. I do this quite often. Usually I stamp more than one of something because I'm worried about messing it up. In this case, didn't mess any of them up, but also I just got that scrap of paper and I thought, well, I can fit 3 on here. Why don't I do 3? You can see here I am using my ink to watercolour. So I'm using a mix of browns. I stamped with the Early Espresso, and because it is a water-based ink, when I'm using a little bit of water with the colour off the other ink pad, which is baked brown sugar, which is a really old Stampin' Up in colour that we had for a while, it was already kind of like mixing a little bit of the Early Espresso and the baked brown sugar together, which gave it some kind of nice shading. I then used the Early Espresso just to do a little bit of the tuft on the tail, which I know would normally be kind of white you would normally go with, but I just wanted to put a bit more dark in there. And for the antlers, and then grabbed some red, I think it was Riding Hood red, and just added the noses. Now, this little Rudolphy fella comes with a little collar, and I wanted it to be golden sparkly, and I knew that this would be the most intense way to get golden sparkle, was to use my Wink of Stella gold brush. It's a very old brush. It's kind of a greeny gold colour, if I'm honest, but it works fine, and I just then use my heat tool to dry everything up. As you can see, this is a speeded up version. Probably took me about 25 minutes to make the card in total. So yeah, maybe less than that actually. But yeah, so I have speeded this up sort of 4 times. It might be a little bit faster in a couple of places, but yeah, generally about 4 times. And then I decided to not add in any extra cardstock. So I'm not matting and layering any of these pieces of pattern paper. So what I'm using is that Early Espresso ink to just edge each piece, and that gives it the separation without adding the bulk or the weight of the cardstock. And I find that a really effective way to do it, especially on something that looks like a little bit rustic like this one does. I just thought it was a nice effective way of doing it. So I've just laid up the pieces of paper, not really thought too much about the design and where they go, just made sure that each of the papers has got its own little bit of visible real estate on the card. I have then added my little reindeer using foam tabs to just raise him up, and then I've chosen a sentiment that's from the pouch of stuff that's already done, foiled and die cut, and it says, "Oh, what fun." Now, as I went to put it on my card blank that's just short of 6x6, I realised that the right hand side I hadn't quite lined up straight, so I chopped it off a bit, inked it again, perfect. Now, I'm in a bit of a mission, so off screen, what you can't see is there's a big pile of stuff on the right hand side of my desk that I'm trying to get more use out of, and some of them are embellishments and things from Hey Little Magpie embellishment kits. So I've added in a little, I don't know if that's where that came from, by the way. It's a little paper clip with a heart in, and it was gold, and I just thought it was quite cute, so I added that. This is an embellishment kit sequin mix from Hey Little Magpie. and I'm just picking out the golds. It was one that was designed probably to go a bit hearts and roses kind of thing. So all pinks and things like that for Valentine's, but clearly I'm using it for Christmas. And so I added some sequins and called it done. So I hope you've enjoyed this little Festive Friday. I do Festive Friday every week on my blog. So please do check that out. It's inkyfingercat.me. But I don't always do a video for them, so it's nice to do one. Please do subscribe to see future videos. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.